Hi guys, welcome to Deadly Departed. It's another beautiful day. And today I'm not actually going to teach, I'm actually not even going to do a little intro. I'm not going to teach you any lessons. I'm actually just going to share a personal story. And if you like these personal stories, then I'll do more of them. And today I'm actually going to share with you a story of how I met my guide in two different ways. See, when I was a young developing medium, okay, like everybody else, I had delusions of grandeur and everything else that would go with it. But I was quite persistent and I was quite cheeky to the spirit world. I was literally, I think to be honest, I think I was quite insolent in many different ways, because I would go into meditation and I would try and perfect everything that I could possibly do. I'd look at everything from a scientific point of view. I did the whole looking at cards. I read tarot cards, and I had the angel cards. I did all that kind of stuff, But I didn't know who my guide was. And in many of the videos that I teach, I'm often saying it doesn't really matter. And it doesn't really matter, but I understand when people are trying to find out. And so I'm just sharing this little story with a little hidden lesson. I'm going to share this story, and then next week or the following week, I'm going to share my other story about my trance guides and how that actually happened. But this is my original guide for my development. And so I remember I wanted a sign from my guide. This is beforehand what actually happened. My wife is a fantastic medium, and I kind of give her the credibility for taking me as a bit of coal and turning me into a diamond. And all of the radio shows and things that I've done, I've mentioned her and how she helped me to develop into the medium I am today. But I'll never forget me being very demanding of my guides. And I had found out who my guide was through a separate thing that had actually happened. I'll go into that in another story. But this is an important lesson about asking for signs and not taking it for granted, okay? So I had found out who my guide was because I was in a meditation. I wanted to know who my guide was, and I saw this woman in white, and I thought she was an angel. And anyway, I found that hard to believe. And then I had a phone call. I was actually teaching a martial arts course at the time. I was actually teaching for an oil company. I was teaching a self-defense course for an oil company. And I had a phone call. Now, I hadn't seen Joanne for quite a while, and she had messaged me. She'd given me a phone call just before I was about to start this course that I was doing for this oil company. And she said, "Oh, I have a message for you. You were in meditation this morning, and this woman came to you who you thought was an angel, and it is not an angel. And this is your guide." And the name was then confirmed. I had already been given a name, and the name was confirmed. But me being the the skeptic, was so excited to have this, but I still had a level of skepticism. So I let it go, and a few days later I was going to my usual place that I meditated. I had my dog, he came with me, and we went, we did our jogging and everything else. And there was a log that I sat on. There was a log that I always went to, and I meditated in this forest. Okay, and I remember sitting down, and I remember closing my eyes and saying, basically, before I go into my meditation, this is what I want to prove that this was my guide. And I'm taking no ifs or no buts. And I'm going to be sitting here, I'm going to do my meditation, and when I open my eyes, I want to see a white butterfly. I want the white butterfly to land on me, and then I will know. And that's the only way that I'm going to accept it. So I went into my meditation, my dog ran about, and I think, it was a short kind of meditation. I think about 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, I come back, open my eyes, and I saw nothing but flies, midges, and dragonflies. So very perturbed and very angry, I thought, well, sod this. This is obviously a load of crap, and spirit's not listening to me, and I don't have this, and blah, 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 and I kept on kicking it. So I grabbed my dog, and we started jogging back to where my car was, or where my minivan was. I was really, really pissed off at the time because I really thought that I was going to have this amazing experience, which I didn't. I was really angry. And so as I was getting back to the car, I was kicking stones. I was livid, absolutely livid. And I got in the car and I put the dog in the car. And I was just so pissed off. It was, you wouldn't believe it. Anyway, got in the car. I'd taken him. I thought, right, this is obviously a load of crap. That wasn't who I thought it was. Not my guide. And I'm not doing this anymore. Kicked my teddy out the pram, ripped its head off and everything else. And I'm me, it's on my own. I don't want to tell anybody else. I was a little bit childish with that. So anyway, I drove in the car and I was driving down the road to go and see, I just arranged to see Joanne. We were going to pick her up. I was going to go for lunch. And as I was driving down the road, a beautiful white butterfly landed right on the windscreen in my visual area. I got so shocked as I was coming to the roundabout, and for you Americans out here, you know the circle, you don't call it a roundabout in here, okay? But we call it a roundabout back in Scotland and in the UK. I was so shocked that this white butterfly landed on my windscreen that I had to no doubt take that was a sign. But I mounted the roundabout and went over it the wrong way. Luckily, there was no cops around, and much to the chagrin of other people that were tooting the horns, I managed to gain control and turn the vehicle around and go back the right way. But here's the thing, guys. That was obviously a lesson for me. Be careful how you ask for things. Be careful how you demand. And be open to the way that your sign will come. Yes, you need to have evidence. Yes, it needs to be constructive evidence and evidence that I have taught many times over on a pyramid scale. But Spirit will answer. Just not perhaps in the way that your expectation is. So you have to be open to the signs of the universe and learn the language in many different ways. Yes, I could have crashed into a car. It could have been disastrous, but it wasn't, because they already knew. They had probably already foresaw this. They were probably up there laughing their heads off. And that's how I met my first guide. That's how I learned a very, very deep lesson. And I remember when we were in a theatre. We were doing a theatre demonstration in north of Scotland. And just before we went to our church in Swansea in Wales. And I remember conveying this story to all the audience about how you need to be careful what you ask for or what you pray for, because it can get answered in the way that you're least expecting. And much to the chagrin and laughs of everybody else, the way that I got my sign was a big lesson. So signs are always going to come, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just a little story of how my sign was answered and woke me up to the reality and the power of Spirit, and also taught me a grave lesson in understanding the way that Spirit works, and to be careful how you ask for things. So every now and again, I'm going to share a little story in my life or in other people's lives of how my development and how my process came along, and how I met my trance guides, and all those stories, how it all happened, so that it can inspire you and you can also learn from it as well. And so that you won't do the same silly things that I've done. So, guys, have a wonderful day. I'm glad to share that story with you. I hope your clairvoyant powers have brought forth the image of the shock on my face as that white butterfly landed right on my windshield, right on my windscreen, right in front of me, and stayed there till the car came to a resounding halt and then flew away. Spirit's always listening. They're always going to answer you. Keep your vibration up. Be good. Be discerning. And love your life. God bless.